Surviving Valley Forge, a winter of hardship. Who am I? The wind cut through us like a blade, sharp and merciless. Snow covered the ground, crunching beneath the few boots that weren't worn through. Many of my men had only rags wrapped around their feet, leaving streaks of blood in the snow as we marched. It was December 19th, 1777, and we had arrived at Valley Forge, our winter camp, though it hardly looked like one. There was nothing here but frozen earth and endless trees. No shelter, no warmth, no food. Just exhaustion in the eyes of my men, and the bitter truth that the British sat comfortably in Philadelphia, waiting for us to freeze, starve, and give up. We worked as fast as our frozen hands allowed, cutting trees, building huts, digging into the ice-covered ground. But the cold seeped into our bones and hunger gnawed at us. The little food we had, hard bread, dried meat, sometimes filled with worms, was barely enough to keep a man on his feet. Then came the sickness. Dysentery, typhus, smallpox. Every morning we buried more men in frozen graves. I visited the sick, offering what comfort I could. One evening, a soldier, no more than a boy, grasped my sleeve, his fevered eyes searching mine. "Tell me this wasn't all for nothing," he whispered. I squeezed his hand. "It won't be," I promised. But could I keep that promise? Could I lead these men through this nightmare? The burden pressed down on me like a mountain. That night, alone in my tent, I prayed. Not for victory, not for glory, just for strength. Then, when we needed it most, a man arrived who changed everything. Baron Friedrich von Steuben was loud, impatient, and sharp as steel. Where others saw a dying army, he saw soldiers waiting to be forged. From the moment he set foot in camp, he took control. He drilled the men in discipline, in battle formations, in the art of war. He cursed in German, barked in French, and shouted in broken English, but they listened, and they learned. Through hunger, through cold, through pain, they trained. Slowly they straightened their backs, moved with purpose, held their weapons with confidence. We were no longer just farmers with muskets. We were becoming something else. One night, as snow fell silently around us, I gathered my officers. I told them, "The British believe we will not last. They think this winter will break us. But they are wrong. We are not broken. We are becoming something stronger than they have ever faced. And when we leave this place, we will not be the same men who entered it. We will be ready, and we will win." And we did. When spring came, we stood tall. We had endured hunger, disease, and freezing cold, and we had come out stronger. Then the news we had prayed for arrived. The French had joined our fight. We were no longer alone. As we marched away from Valley Forge, I looked at my men. They no longer stumbled. They marched with strength, with purpose. Valley Forge did not break us. It made us. My name is George Washington, and that winter we became an army. I was the commander of the 1st Continental Army and the first President of the United States.